One of Russia's most advanced tanks, which are protected by special reactive armor, is destroyed at this moment by Ukrainian troops. The T-90M's armor is designed to explode when hit, reducing an incoming round's penetration power. Additionally, an automated defense system protects the tank by launching smoke grenades when it is painted by an incoming missile's laser beam. Notwithstanding, the Ukrainian military delivered drone film on a Russian reinforced unit which brought about the obliteration of the PS-4 million tank, as well as a thermobaric numerous rocket framework. The attacks were said to have occurred in Kharkiv Oblast, a region in the northeastern part of Ukraine. 2 tanks and 2 MTLB, Russian transport vehicles, were said to have been destroyed after intelligence officers and ground troops coordinated a series of attacks targeting clusters of Russian equipment. On Monday, the Armed Forces of Ukraine's Command of the Special Operations Forces, SSO, stated, "The SSO resistance movement in Ukraine is functioning. During reconnaissance operations in the Kharkiv region, our soldiers discovered clusters of enemy equipment, including vehicles with heavy and light armor." They added, "Soldiers from the resistance movement coordinated a unit from one of the artillery brigades and adjusted the fire on enemy targets an hour after the priority targets for the strike were determined." The Russians suffered losses in the amount of, as a result of the cooperation of Ukrainian Defense Forces soldiers. The T-90 tank is gone. The tank T-80 BVM was destroyed. Destroyed MTLB. MTLB is broken. In the 10 weeks since Russia's invasion, Ukraine believes it has lost 23,800 troops. The Ukrainian military additionally guarantees that Russia has lost 1,048 fight tanks, 2,519 battle-protected vehicles, 459 gunnery frameworks, 152 NLR frameworks, 80 enemy of airplane frameworks, 194 warplanes, 155 helicopters, 1,824 vehicles, 8 vessels, 76 gas tank trucks, 271 functional strategic level UAVs, 38 units of exceptional hardware, and 4 portable SRBM frameworks. The administrator of the Land Knowledge Unit, Mykola Volokov, talking on the broadcast fundraiser on July 5, proposed that assuming the degrees of accomplishment being accomplished by Ukrainian safeguard powers battling in the Bakhmut region are kept up with, the city of Bakhmut will ultimately come totally heavily influenced by Ukraine. Throughout the last month, we have gained stable headway in the Bakhmut bearing, reclaiming what was lost by liberating the enemy-held areas. We are beginning to enter territories that we did not initially control. As a result, everything is generally quite upbeat and optimistic, the intelligence officer stated. However, he emphasized that victory cannot yet be discussed. Volokov also talked about the typical shift in the Russian army's behavior when they were fighting in the Bakhmut direction. The enemy is already mobilizing reserve forces, the intelligence officer emphasized. The idea of the region is that it is essentially conflicts between infantry. However, as of late, more tanks have become involved from both our and the adversary sides. If before there was just infantry, presently the foe is effectively utilizing weighty hardware. This is a decent sign for us, since it shows that they are not adapting and they need to approach their stores, Volokov remarked. Before that, as per the speaker of the Eastern Gathering of the Military of Ukraine, Serhiy Cherevati, it was realized that Russia had raised to 50,000 military staff and in excess of 300 tanks in the Bakhmut heading, basically to supplant those Wagner PNC powers who had been removed. The defense forces had advanced approximately 1,300 meters as a result of offensive operations in the Bakhmut, Melitopol, and Berdyansk directions, according to the Ministry of Defense on June 29. Nonetheless, appointee safeguard Serv Hanna Malyar focused on that the Ukrainian military has not yet entered the city of Bakhmut, since the enormous number of designing fortresses and fortifications briefly involved by the intruders is entangling the activities expected to free the city. Russia's military is enormously decreased in Ukraine, as per England's safeguard boss. Russia has lost almost a portion of the battle viability of its military. Naval Commander Tony Radakin expressed Tuesday during a parliamentary hearing. Radakin, who is the proper top of the UK's military and holds the title of head of the guard staff, likewise depicted Russian President Vladimir Putin's intrusion of Ukraine as a disastrous disappointment and Russia's powers as well frail to send off their own counteroffensive. Radakin spoke extensively about Ukraine's counteroffensive, which many analysts believe began at the beginning of June during the hearing before the Defense Committee. However, Radakin safeguarded the tactical activity after analysis that it's advanced too leisurely. He recognized that Russian mines and Ukraine not having military hardware has mentioned from partners have eased back President Volodymyr Zelensky's powers. The admiral stated, "The Ukrainian military has managed to make significant gains in the ongoing counteroffensive, despite numerous factors working against it. Ukraine has regained more ground even in the last few weeks than Russia has in the past year," he stated. Radakin made the point that Zelensky and other high-ranking officials in Ukraine have reported in recent weeks that Kyiv's forces have regained control of several villages that Russia had seized during its military campaign. In the meantime, Ukrainian forces have returned to the city of Bakhmut, which Russia claims it captured in May. Radakin also stated that Russia continues to expend ammunition and equipment at a high rate during the hearing. Last year, shot 10 million ordnance shells, however, best case scenario can create 1 million shells every year. Radakin stated that it can only produce 200 tanks annually and has lost 2,500 tanks. Additionally, Putin's forces continue to lose a lot of troops in Ukraine. The Ukrainian Armed Forces General Staff reported on Tuesday that Russia has lost 231,030 troops since Putin's invasion began on February 24, 2022. On May 17, Ukraine reported that Russian troop losses had reached 200,000, indicating that many of the 31,000 or more troops that had been lost since then occurred during Ukraine's counteroffensive. However, it is difficult to determine precise troop numbers, and some Western estimates place the Russian death toll lower. The loss of troops is rarely discussed by Russia itself. The last figure from the Russian Protection Service, which came in September 2022, was just shy of 6,000.